change it. I think that's one of the reasons why Clinton won. You know, Clinton had this no matter what.
I'll tell you, when we first had this conversation about the letters, you were right. And
you know, I was just playing it up, and these guys are like, "What? It has a boost!" You know, I mean, for 25-year-old guys.
Poor job of organizing, poor job of educating too. All right. Hello, everybody. Okay, so it's just me tonight. First of all, do me a favor, okay, and let me know that you can hear me in the chat. That's always like at the top, you know, because when Dimitris here, there's always audio issues, always a little audio problems, right? I want to make sure that there's no audio problems tonight. So do me a favor, in the chat, say, hey Phil, we can hear you just fine, and then we'll move forward with the show. So where is Dimitri tonight? And do you remember there wasn't going to be a show tonight? There was going to be no show tonight. But I did a couple bonehead things in the past couple days. Okay, thank you, Bridget. A couple bonehead things in the past couple days. I will tell you about both of the bonehead things that I did. But one reminded me. Okay, one reminded me that I got to silence all my devices. See, now if Dimitri had been on the show, he'd be like, "You didn't silence your devices." Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, all right. So one of the bonehead things I did reminded me about something that just happened, and I said, you know what? I want to do a show. I'm going to do a show without Dimitri because what just happened, I have a lot of interest in, and I thought that maybe you would have a whole lot of interest in it too. That's why I said, let's do the show tonight. I don't think it's going to be the full 2 hours. I don't think so. I don't have the ability yet. I mean, I probably should figure it out, but I don't have the ability yet to put the chat up on the screen. So Bill Tarling, thank you very much, Bill Tarling. He is watching the chat. He's gathering your questions, and he will send your questions to me. All right. Before we bring in our special, very, very special guest tonight, I want to do a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, it's ridiculously cold here in Florida. It's ridiculous. Okay, ridiculously cold is like 50 degrees. It's supposed to be 40 degrees tomorrow morning. I'm going to show you a picture of me before I got on my bicycle this morning. That's what I was dressed in right there because it is so damn cold. You know, I know that doesn't look like 50 degrees, but you get used to Florida weather, and that's what happens, right? Something else too. You guys remember that there is an outstanding contest going on, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to put together a really nice Inikin prize package for you guys, and what you have to do to win it is on the next show that me and Dimitri are together on, which is going to be after the holidays, right? Together on. Guess what my odometer reading on my new bike is going to be without going over. You can't put it in the chat here or the show comments here. You have to put it in the show comments on the previous show because that is where the contest was announced. All right. So the next show that Dimitri and I have, we'll gather all of the entries from the comments there, and we'll see what my odometer reading is on the bike. Okay, and then one other little piece of housekeeping here. Let's see, I do have to move a couple things around, or can I do it this way? See, this is where Dimitri is just much better at things than I am. All right, here we go. The Chroma 217. The Chroma 217 is coming. It's coming December 15th. Now, some people were asking about this on the platform group. December 15th is the official release date. Now, as far as where you're going to get it, we're going to start announcing that as it becomes available at the shops, at the stores. Okay, so look at my Facebook page. Look at the platform group, and of course, if you are not a member of the platform group on Facebook, I do recommend that you join it. A lot of good people there. And look at tasteyourjuice.com, and of course, Dimitri's Facebook page as well. Okay, so that's where you're going to find out once it becomes available. We will let you know where you can get one. All right, so that's going to be the Chroma 217 21700 battery, some of the Fourier features in there, and the new tank, the performance tank with the new coil, and the coil is going to have the dual coil technology in it. Okay, so some cool stuff there, and we're really excited about that. Yes, absolutely, Craig. It makes a great Christmas gift. It does. And once you get it, you can fill it with some of the delicious watermelon peach, the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of vape news tonight. Usually Dimitri does this. He's much better at it than I am. But to assist me with the vape news tonight, I'm going to bring in our special guest. And our special guest I have known for a long time. She is a fantastic person. She's also a member of SFATA, on and off, but now on. And her official title was completely different like 2 days ago. She changed her completely title. It's okay. Nobody cares about titles anyway. Her title tonight is the Director of State Affairs for Texas, I'm assuming. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the lovely and talented Schell Hammel. Say hello to everybody, Schell.
Hello.
There you are. I'm good. And I said, so I'll tell you some of the bonehead things that I did that triggered this show tonight and having you on this show. The bonehead #1 thing, well, I'll tell the other story later on about Larry. Larry, hang around. I'll tell you your story later. But the first bonehead thing I did was the last time you and I talked about the meeting. I mean, you invited me to go to the meeting. It's just too close to the holidays for me. I wasn't able to get away. But you said, will you help promote the meeting? I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll help promote the meeting. So this past Saturday, and I don't know if any of you guys caught it, but this past Saturday, I said, oh my God, I forgot about the meeting. So let me go ahead and do a couple posts. So I did a post on tasteyourjuice.com. Right? That went live. As soon as I post on tasteyourjuice.com, that forwards automatically to my Twitter account. And now I'm posting the flyer that you gave me on my Facebook. And it's on my Facebook. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, fuck. It was this last Thursday. I couldn't believe I did that. It was last Thursday. All right, hold on. Something else is dinging right now. And that's probably, yeah, okay. Let me mute. Yeah, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh shit, that was last Thursday, right? So now I got to delete the post on tasteyourjuice.com. I'm so glad Dimitri, he probably saw it. But I know if he definitely saw it, he would have given me nothing but grief, right? So I got to delete the post on tasteyourjuice.com. I got to go over to my Twitter account, which I never go to. Twitter is just a disaster. It's a cesspool of people fighting each other. I go to my Twitter account, I delete that tweet. And then I go to my Facebook page and I delete the Facebook. But it reminded me that meeting happened. That SFATA meeting did happen, right? And I know you're a member of SFATA again, right? And I thought it would be really interesting because I want to know what happened at that meeting, and I thought other people might want to know as well, right? Especially with the state of affairs with vaping. So. Schell, introduce you, for those of you, for people who don't know you, introduce yourself and let everybody know what your role and what your status is at SFATA. And if you went away and came back, tell us that story too, okay?
So I've always been a member of SFATA. I've just now joined the board again. I was leading SFATA in the state of Texas still, but I had to drop out for a little while. I had some serious medical issues, still have them. I am now, I have leukemia. So I go through chemo I go through a couple rounds every 3 to 6 months, depending on blood levels. So that's the reason why I dropped out, but I'm back in. Blood levels are doing good. And, I'm ready to kind of work on these. And the director of chapter state affairs is really because we have a lot of different laws that are being filed in our bills that are filed in our states. And, strategically, we've done really well in Texas. And whether it's by our lobbyist or by luck, we have learned a lot. And I think that a lot of that strategy, I love strategic type planning, love it. And throughout all that planning and strategy that we've done with our group, because our group has been phenomenal. And, I'd like to share that with people and really help them focus on those bills and how to focus on those bills and how to win.
Yeah. And there was an issue with your audio, but I think I got it fixed up pretty quick for you to I think they got most of what you said. I would say 90% of what you said, so we're okay there. But do you think the situation is better in Texas because, well, it's Texas? I mean, it's kind of similar to how things are in Florida. I mean, we know that they're both pretty conservative states. Do you think that is helping the situation?
Sometimes. We've got a lot of people moving here from California, lots and lots and lots, and I mean,
same here.
Honestly, we've had 48 since I started this, and that was 4 sessions ago, and we're every 2 years, so that's 8 years ago that I started this, and that's right, I think. Since I started this, we've had 48 bills in the state filed against us. We've had 2 actually filed, and we were at the negotiating table for both of them. So, and this last session, I'll tell you, when I was finally going, law, it's finally working, was this last one, which was a tax bill. And of course, it was a per milliliter tax. It was an Altria tax, and which we've all seen in our state. And we had the president of the PTA of our school stand up and say, this isn't going to work. We had teenagers come up and say, this isn't going to work. And these aren't, teenagers that are children of vapors. These are teenagers that go, all this is going to do is entice teenagers to use Juul products as opposed to, a larger device. And that's not going to help because they're using the Juul devices. That's what they're doing. Yeah. And so they got it. They finally got it. All the education that we had done for, years, they were finally listening, and of course we won. But it's been a hard fight here regardless. So I know that Nick has done a fabulous job in Florida, and they've had the same thing. They've had a lot of them filed. Everybody wants their name on a bill, and it's just important to know the strategies that we're taking. And I think that's what I want to bring back. I want to bring back some of those key people that have started those strategic plans within their state and put those into action into other states. And let's be proactive rather than reactive. Texas is just now starting that right now, where we're starting a bill where we can put these vapor products in tobacco 21 and over stores. Why are we doing that? Because we won't hear that same song and dance about, youth usage.
Well, I want to talk more about youth usage, but I mean, this is a perfect segue to go into to vape news here a little bit before we get back to SFATA, your role, the meeting, and everything. Just last week on the show, Dimitris brought up this case here. North Carolina Attorney General lawsuit takes aim at e-cigarette industry over kid-friendly flavors and youth marketing. And I'm not sure why kid-friendly flavors, because Juul pulled the kid-friendly with it. Hey, look, they're not kid-friendly flavors. They're just flavors. But anyway, Juul pulled the flavors, but they're going after Juul. But then I saw this one, which is separate. And this is Arizona Attorney General brokers a $14.5 million settlement with vape company Juul. And, Schell, once again, Dimitris and I talked about this, where Juul really, I think they could have gone to bat for the industry and helped us out. I think they could have done some positive things when it comes to flavors, because, they said that flavors were part of, why adults were quitting, and they just pulled them as soon as they became a hot topic. But I thought this was really interesting right here, and I guess this is Juul talking. So this settlement is another step in our ongoing effort to reset our company, and we applied the Attorney General's plan to deploy resources to address underage use, a spokesperson for Juul told the Arizona's family. We will continue working with federal and state holders to advance a fully regulated, science-based marketplace for vapor products. Here comes some interesting stuff. As part of that process, we will continue to support Tobacco 21 and enforcement against illicit and illegally marketed products, such as certain disposables. that jeopardize the harm reduction potential of alternative vapor products. So it looks like they're going after their competition, right? Wouldn't you say that that's what they're doing? They're going after their competition, right? They're gonna help eliminate their competition, maybe.
Of course, absolutely. I think that's been their target all along. I think that's been their goal. Otherwise, we wouldn't see the tax that we see inside the states that is written by them. I mean, we've seen them destroy our industry, and sadly enough, we're supposed to all be in this together. But unfortunately, when their name became Kleenex in our homes, and they kind of changed the tune a bit.
Yeah.
Especially with our teenagers and our youth.
And did you know, Schell, that nicotine makes your bones frail? Did you hear about that one?
It does all kinds of things.
That's the newest one. Vaping leads to fractures in minor falls. I've had a couple minor falls. Luckily, all my bones are still intact. Nicotine in e-cigarettes. I love that. I love that, right? You know, if you got to put that, it's not a story. To me, it's... Why is that there? I don't know why that's... Okay, God damn it. Go... Why? I'm not... It could. Okay, nicotine in e-cigarettes could. Like I said, if you have to put that, to me, it's not a story. Make people's bones weaker, experts say. Gotta love the experts. But what's interesting about this story, and Bill pointed this out to me, thank you for the stories, Bill, was that story doesn't take into account cigarette smokers. So like people that smoked cigarettes and then became vapors, right? They found out that it's not that they're just looking at vapors and that's important when it comes to studies, right? You can't say vaping is causing this if you smoked cigarettes for 30 years and then just started vaping, right? What damage has been caused by the cigarettes for those 30 years? And maybe vaping's got nothing to do with that, right? And I don't think that study takes that into account. They're not looking at vapors only who have not smoked at all, right?
Yep. No, I agree. I think that they, when it comes to vaping, they pretty much put us in our own category, and they honestly, they make it sound like it's much healthier to smoke. So, go ahead and smoke. It seems to be the push these days, even with the new tax, the federal tax. I mean, you would be incentivized to smoke rather than vape.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what that story looks like? It reminds me of the story that nicotine causes depression in teenagers, whereas they're not talking about the state of affairs in the country, news media ripping us apart and putting us at each other's throats. The pressures that kids have today with social media and everything that they go through, not
to mention the COVID depression.
Yeah. Don't look at any of that. Don't look at any of that. It's got to be the e-cigs. Let's blame e-cigs on everything. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's the same when you go into the state or federally, either one. They won't take any type of data that is outside the U.S. lines. Yeah. Because apparently they breathe differently, or they vape differently, or something. They can't take that science because it's not in America.
But we have we have different lungs than they do.
I know, exactly. You totally breathe.
Totally. The different air. There's different air, different lungs. Everything is different. Like you go, it's just not compatible. Human beings are different there than they are here. Right?
They do dress differently. It's crazy. And eat differently.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna go with Elon Musk to Mars. I'm moving to Mars. Okay, so there's an update too on the PMTA MDO legal challenges. We have a chart now of all of the people that are involved in the challenges, and I guess the stays. So I'm not sure if you know about. Well, I'm sure you do know about this, but let's take a look at this story. And again, all of these stories, the links will be on tasteyourjuice.com. Update on PMTA MDO legal challenges, our rescissions, and PMTA authorizations, blah, 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 blah. But I think the most important thing to look at is this table right here. So I guess these are all of the lawsuits, I guess, right? BD Vapor, 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗹 LLC, My Vape Order Inc., 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗀 LLC, ECS Global, Turning Point Brands, Wages and Lean, and this is Triton that we know. Humble Juice Company, Avail Vapor, I'm well aware of that company, and Vapetasia LLC. So I say bring them on, bring more on.
Yeah, no.
Right?
And honestly, the ones that have gone through have looked really good. I think there's only one that didn't, but I mean, there's some of them that have been really good.
Dimitris is a firm believer that's going to go nowhere, that none of them are going to get through. So
let's be honest. Dimitri has been a firm believer that we're, and you say the word,
fucked. We're fucked
for years.
For years, but you know what though? To be fair, everything he said has come true.
You know what? I don't argue with him. I never argue with Dimitri because sometimes he is right. I didn't say always, because I'm not giving him that one. But I will say sometimes he's right. And honestly, I think a lot of us knew that we were going to have an uphill battle. We've had an uphill battle from day one. I mean, but how could you not have an uphill battle when you have, the tobacco industry? You've got big pharma. You've got, the big money in all these states from, the Settlement Act. You've got all kinds of things against you. How can you not have an uphill battle? But guys, I mean, honestly, I'm always the glass is half full.
Yes.
We've done pretty darn good. I mean, really, for being an industry, not stop. I know that we've got don't think for a minute that this FDA, PMTA, wipeout is not a political move. They knew they were going to get sued. They knew it. They did it last time. They knew they were going to get sued last time. I mean, this is not old news. We've done this.
So what do you think? What do you think it is? You think they're just okay? We have to appease the masses. We have to shut everybody up. So we're just going to do this.
Absolutely. For every one of us, there's 100 moms.
Okay.
That are screaming, "Kill him!
Yeah.
Kill him!"
But I mean, as far as you,
witches of Salem witch hunt.
As far as you saying, we're doing pretty good though. I don't know. I have a problem with that. Look. When I see vape shops closing down left and right, when I see companies going away left and right, when I see friends of mine out of business, when I see every vape shop that I know becoming a CBD, Delta 8, glassware, bong, flavors are going away, taxes, they're going to be tax used. How are we doing pretty good?
We're still here. We're still fighting. And I'm going to tell you, after all of this time, and I'm sorry, but we're still here. We're still fighting. And they know at this point, some of us are still not going to go away. And I know they want us to go away. But for the little guys and the little guys we were, holy cow, guys, we've made a huge ruckus. We have shook the rafters. And we've done it over and over again. And I know everybody wants to go, oh my gosh, just roll over. But that's what they want us to do. And I don't really take orders really well. But, I mean, to me, I just look at us I started this in 2011. And I started it in my kitchen, which is terrible. But it's true. That's all you had to do. And I had people for miles around going, show me how to do this. I have people still in conventions that come up to me and go, I quit because of you. I quit and I started this because of you. This is history and we have laid history. And if they do end up killing us, and I pray they don't, but if they do end up killing us, they're going to go down with a fight. We're going to keep doing this and we're going to keep doing this. And they're going to realize that we're not going to get off our hamster wheel. We're going to keep doing it. Right. So in that regard, dadgummit. I mean, we're still here.
Dadgummit. There's my Schell. Dadgummit. Look, I've called you a Spitfire in the past, and you are a Spitfire, and I think we need some positivity. I think we do. We need positivity. We need hope, but I think we need wins, right? We really need a couple of wins. That would be really nice.
That's the thing, is that I get it. We've got some big losses, but you want wins? I can stack them up, Phil. I can stack them up. We've got wins in states all over the place. We've got wins in courts. We've got all kinds of things. I know they're small, but sometimes you got to find the big and the small. And we can't all just keep going, we'll just roll over. this is the time to show them, keep coming at me. Keep coming at me. I'm going to keep coming back.
Good. I like that. And by the way, what you said is sometimes you got to find the big and the small. That's what I tell girls when they go out with me. A couple of things. There's a couple of questions here that I want to get to, and if you guys have questions, keep them coming because Bill is collecting them. He's sending them to me. Army Man Brad wants to know, Schell, can they borrow you in New Jersey?
Well, hopefully I will be there helping your state. That's what I want to do, and I was really trying to get well really fast, but it was a slow process. So I want to do that. I want to help your state. I want to look at your strategic plan. I want to help you develop a strategic plan that really works, that has been shown to work. It's working in our state. We've got tobacco 21. I've got to where, you can't, I'm in Texas. I cannot watch every county. And I've had these counties and municipalities trying to pass laws, mainly flavor bans inside the cities. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if y'all know, but from the top of Texas to the bottom of Texas is about a 15-hour drive. And I can't make it in time when I've only got a 24-hour notice. And so they stuck inside they didn't know it, but they stuck inside the tobacco 21 law that they can't pass any of those laws unless it goes through the state. So I can watch it all. And so, there's different things that we can do. And I would love to help anybody to do that within their own state. And let's make this more of a state. And that's one of SFATA's initiatives. So we'll just pull that up. One of those things is that we're going to try to make these, more towards cannabis, where it's more state mandated, it's more state run, it's more state handled rather than the federal, because we've been handing it over to federal. So let's work it inside of our states where we can control a little bit of this chaos that's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Again, your enthusiasm is infectious, and I hope. And by the way, should anybody want to contact Schell, again, I'll have her contact information with the replay post on tasteyourjuice.com. I'm not sure if this is a question. With the upcoming nicotine tax, what are they going to tax if nothing has a PMTA? What are they going to tax? What are they currently views? Are they currently? Is it views that they're going to tax? That's it.
I asked that question myself. I was like, well, if you're going to wipe us all out and we're like kind of illegal, does that mean that we're illegal of tax?
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be.
Or does this make sense? Because knowing our government, the way our government works, right? Are they setting the tax in place first, and now we start to get some PMTAs out? Well,
and that could be. And honestly, I'll be honest with you. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing most of the time. How many times have y'all walked into a senator's office or a rep's office and said, this is in your bill, you wrote this bill, this is in your bill, and they go, no, it's not. Seriously, guys, they can only, and to their point, they have a lot going on. They got a lot of people, knocking on their door and asking them to do things. So they have drafters write those bills, of course. But don't be so surprised that they don't know that's happening. Everybody's fighting it from different angles. And when we say that everybody's coming at us at once, they really are. And they're coming at us so fast, some of them don't even know what's going on the right-hand side. But if they had a strategy, well, Phil, that would be my strategy. Exactly what you said. Get it ready. In the state of Texas, a lot of times and any state, if they start telling you get permits and regulations, you watch that registration and that permitting law, go through it with a fine tooth comb. We had to in ours as well. Go through it with a fine tooth comb, because the only reason they're asking you to get permitting and registration within your state is to provide an avenue towards tax. So you be very, very careful what goes in that bill. You read it, and you read it twice, and you make sure that it doesn't have zero nicotine in it. You be very careful with those registration and permitting bills, because that's an avenue for tax.
Yeah. And do me a favor, Bill, send me questions, not comments. I don't want to read all the comments on the air.
Did he say Schell's crazy? Hi, Bill.
No, you're not crazy. Absolutely not. Crazy infectious, crazy excited, crazy positive, and I think we need that, right? But you kind of went away for a little while, and then you came back, and obviously you have the intelligence, you have the background, you have the knowledge to fight and represent the industry. Where did you go for a little while? What happened? Where'd you go?
So I was diagnosed with large granular lymphocytic leukemia. It is a chronic type of leukemia. So you take, I'm on chemo for now until the rest of my life. So, and it's basically a way of just kind of keeping it at bay. We do, when my blood levels get out of whack, we do, a couple rounds of chemo, and I feel like crap for a little while, and then I bounce back. It's not a big deal.
You definitely bounce back. And you had COVID in the middle of that, didn't you?
I had COVID twice.
Are you shitting me? I didn't know you had it twice. I knew you had it. You had it once.
No, I had it once, and the first time it knocked me down about 3 weeks. I didn't get in the hospital. I'm too ornery for that. So, and no hospital or anything like that, but it did knock me down for a little while. And then I got it another time. The second time I got it, it was probably about 8 months later. And I was up and running in 5 days.
Okay. Now, were you vaxxed?
I'm not allowed to be. So at this point, there's a lot of things within my blood work that we just don't want to put that in there with it. Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
No, I totally get it.
I have to fight enough with other things. I don't need to.
I totally get it. So what it sounds like what happened was your first bout with COVID acted like a vaccine, so your second bout wasn't that intense, right?
That's exactly what my oncologist said. He said, you have more immunity than any of us.
See, clearly I should be an oncologist. I think I have the qualifications. But yeah, because I mean that's what happened to me. Well, that's not exactly what happened to me, but I mean I did get vaccinated and then I got COVIDated after that, right? So, everybody's talking about the booster shot. I'm like, my booster shot was COVID. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Did you lose your taste of smell and
Yes. So one of my friends is in the chat. His name is Larry, and I had my own little super spreader event at my house, Schell. 5 people got COVID off of this party, and what's interesting is I got it, and I had the Pfizer vaccine. Larry got it. He had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Larry's wife got it. She had the Moderna vaccine. Went right through all 3 of them. Now,
okay. So what were the symptoms like with everybody?
All very similar. Okay, so with me, I would say second or third day in, it was like a switch. Somebody shut off my taste and my smell, like off, like turned it off. Right?
Yeah.
Could not taste anything. Could not smell anything. I could have been eating bad food. Would have never known it. There could have been a fire in the house. Would have never known it. Right? Now my taste is back about 85%. I would say my smell now at this point, maybe 65%. But what's scaring me is I got it at the same time my friend Larry got it. Larry's taste is still not back. And
whoa.
that's I like, you have no idea how bad I feel about that. I mean, I know it's not my fault. It might not have come from me. What's that?
How long ago was this?
Larry, what was it, about 6 months ago now? If not, yeah, about 6 months ago, I think. Well, I gotta get a switch here. So,
wow.
So yeah, I mean, for me, again, I got it after I got vaccinated. It was like one day of a really bad flu. Nothing like I haven't felt before, right? Like in bed, chills, aches, pains, all that stuff. And the second day, I was actually okay enough to drive myself to urgent care and get a test, right? To see if I had it. And sure enough, I had it. Third day, that's where I made the mistake. Third day, I felt okay. I got on my bike and rode 9 miles. And I should not have done that. I should have taken it more seriously. I should have rested like they tell you to do. That did not work out for me. And then like the symptoms came back a little bit. I felt really, really drained. And I think if I had taken it a little bit more seriously, the recovery time would have been less. But anyway, thank God we're all okay. But I really do hope that Larry gets his taste back soon.
Me too. My goodness, Larry, I hope so.
Yeah. All right. So enough of the COVID. Now let's talk about So what is your role now with SFATA? What are you doing with SFATA? I have a lot of questions about SFATA. So let's start off with what are you doing with SFATA?
Well, so I just started back on the board. Okay. I'm gonna work a lot on the legislative, the legislative part, especially the state level. I want to help a lot with everyone's strategic plan again. And maybe they don't want me in there. You know what? I'm going to meddle as much as they want me to meddle, and I'm going to get out as much as they want me to get out. It's completely up to them. But I want to help them inside their state. Federally, I mean, I've been to DC a couple of times already just over this tax bill. We're going to go back. We got senators we got to get after, at this point. Come on, the tax is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they say that it's supposed to be comparable to the tax on cigarettes. It's nowhere even close, of course. And we all know that. We've seen the numbers. I don't know. Have y'all seen the numbers? Have you seen that?
Good. You could share them with everybody.
Let's just say 120 ml bottle of 3 milligrams. Okay, so 3 milligram, 120 ml bottle is $10.01 of tax. So, I mean, your 120 milligram or milliliter bottles are probably what, $20-$30, I guess, something like that.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even comparable. You're talking about half the price of your bottle in tax alone. So it's really, it's not comparable to me at all. Especially.
Okay. So first of all, we should not be taxed on something that could potentially save our lives, right? I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
Right. But I hate to say it, but is this what's needed to allow the industry to continue? If we're greasing the pig, right? Is that, we used to back in the day, the Italian, this is what we did, right? To get things, make things happen. Will this finally, all of a sudden PMTA start to open up? Maybe we get some flavors through. Because now if you have that kind of money against this product, right, it could be significant revenue, it could be significant income for states, right? Is this what's needed to get the industry going again?
Well, and what you just said was very important in the states. I think that we, at this point, I think every state has, somebody has filed a tax bill within their state, probably all three. But somebody has filed and gone after that. I think that we need to be proactive. I think we need to show the way that I have won a couple of these tax arguments, which we've had, I can't even tell you, countless tax bills that have been filed in Texas. And number one is I've tried to work with these representatives and file our own based on milligram, based on the milligram. When you've got the higher milligram pods, you tax those way high. If you're really worried about youth usage, make it an issue. Make it an issue right off the bat. And so that's what we've been driving home for now 2 sessions, which is 4 years.
That actually reminds me of a strategy that I think Dimitris had, was to tax per milligram as opposed to per milliliter, which kind of makes more sense, right?
Right. Yeah. So we introduced that to one of our representatives to file, and he began it. Our state, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but our state was a little crazy this last session. We didn't have Democrats against Republicans. We had the Senate against the House, which is really weird. It didn't matter if you're, and that's my biggest issue inside of these states and the federal is what happened to we the people? What happened to this bill is good for the people? Now it has become an issue of, well, I don't like you. You're not supporting my bill, even though it's bad. So I'm not going to support your bill, even though it's good. It's absolutely asinine what I'm seeing. I mean, it's like child play. It's really crazy. And so, but if you can continue that strategy, then you can almost pit one against another, and you get big tobacco really pissed off. You can, and then they start fighting the other one, and you can kind of get them fighting against each other. And so then it gets kind of lost in the mush and it goes away. But I mean, it's a great strategy. And if we need, and to answer your question, do we need to do something to where we can have that in place so they'll shut up and stop coming after us? Then yes, I think that we can be proactive and it still work in our favor. We can push that tax through to our customers. I hate doing it, and I hate taxing any product that I believe is the answer to the tobacco problem. But if that is what is going to cause this to slow down, mellow out, to where we can sell these products to the individuals who need them and continue them on their pathway to success,
yes,
then by golly, do it. But don't forget to use the FDA's data against them every time. Yeah. They have data inside their database accessible to everyone that shows where these sting operations and where these warning letters are going out to for selling to youth. Use that data to your advantage every single time you can, because nobody can argue that. It's not like, I can go in there with all kinds of studies from, the UK or wherever, and they will argue that their bodies are different or whatever it is, but they will not argue the FDA's own data. And that is where you win the argument. So use that to the nth degree.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said what happened to We the People. Well, what happened to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right?
None of it.
When you think about it, really, vaping is all three, right? Life, I want to quit smoking and vape so that I don't die. Liberty, I should have the freedom and right to use a product, especially a product that really isn't going to harm me that much. We'll say that much. Okay, we know there's a little bit of harm, but there's no harm to anybody else. There's no harm from secondhand vapor, right? And the pursuit of happiness. You know what? This makes me happy. I enjoy it. It's pleasurable. I vape watermelon peach, the #1 best-selling flavor in the I don't know if you try this, Schell. It's really delicious. You should try some. Watermelon peach, the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted light, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy.
You should send me some.
I will send you some. So that's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and they're trying to take that away from me. Well, but it's all under the guise of saving the children, right?
But we're adults, and I'm going to tell you this, okay? And you can quote me, and y'all can quote me all across. I am sick of being told that it is my responsibility to control your house. We have fixed our house. We've got tobacco 21 laws across the country. We have fixed our house. Now you go as parents and fix yours. If your child is vaping and they're breaking the law, why are you talking to me about it?
Oh, Schell. Look, this is something I've been saying for a long time. You got tobacco 21 in place. Done. That's it.
Fix our house.
That's
fix
it.
Our house. Go fix yours.
Right. So, I mean, that should be it. I mean, basically, tobacco 21 is kind of like you can't be 21 and buy alcohol. You can be under 21 and buy alcohol. Same thing.
And it's not my fault your child's breaking the rules. I have no
my problem. I am so sick. I am so sick of my rights and freedoms being taken away from me because of the evil actions of others, because of the illegal actions of others. I have to have my rights and freedoms affected. That's some bullshit, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
And we've made the argument about alcohol. You got flavored alcohol over there. Don't tell me about flavors attracting youth. Don't even tell me when they're smoking marijuana on the corner. Don't even talk to me about flavors in youth.
Yeah.
We could do this all night. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. A lot of it is frustrating. Tell me about the meeting, Schell. Tell me about the SFATA meeting. First of all, obviously SFATA is still in the game, right? Do you know?
Well, we're the oldest one. Let me tell you. I always think of the Bible. Shush. All right. So you know what? There are some that rise and then they fall. And where are we? We're still here standing strong, and we're still here supporting, and we're still here protecting. and we're all responsible. And I mean, we're still here, been here, not going anywhere.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Do you know anything about VTA? Is VTA still around? Are they doing anything? What?
They are. I don't know what they're doing. I know that they are in some meetings, and I don't know if they're only doing it at the federal level. I really don't know. I know that they pulled out of every state, and that was the last I heard. I know that they've been doing some things. They say they're doing things at federal. I'm not really exactly sure what it is.
So, I mean, I think that's a good question. At this point in the game, why don't you know what VTA is doing? Why isn't VTA talking to you and you're talking to VTA and any other organization and group that's trying to save this industry? Why aren't you guys talking? Why aren't you guys working together?
I not know. We're here, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in this from the very beginning with the whole VTA. I have reached out personally, to VTA and said, "Come, be a unit with us." We have always talked about unity. We have always talked about, if there is anybody who comes along now and tries to divide, with organizations, with states and divide states, oh my gosh, if anybody goes that route, I will scream, because that is crazy. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. We have to unify. We have to become one. We are not going to win if everybody starts, gets butt hurt and runs off, or whatever it is that happens within. I don't know exactly what happens, but whatever happens, that's what happened with the SFATA board before. They run off and they try to divide the industry. And let me tell you something. I'm in it. I mean, honestly, I love my state members. I'm in it from the ground level because I have shops. I don't need someone coming in and dividing my state where my shops are in jeopardy, because I've been in sessions where I'm fighting VTA's lobbyists because it's not good for the shops. And I don't care if you're an online shop or you're a brick and mortar or what type of shop you are, as long as you're a shop, we're going to make sure that you're protected as SFATA. We're looking at all of it. Okay, well, wait a minute. If we put this in there, it could hurt our online shops also. So we look at everybody, little, big, whatever you are, big manufacturing, all of it, and make sure you're protected from all angles. And so when you go in there and you divide, where there's some that aren't looking at it that way, you can't divide these states. If you do it again, we will fall. So anybody who does that is, and so that's why I'm glad that we're not hearing a lot in the States about that, because finally we're all back to unified, and we've got to, we can follow a direct plan as a group and as a whole, rather than one doing the other and, somebody doing one thing and one doing the other. It doesn't work like that. We've shown it doesn't work like that. We need to all be friends. It just needs to stop.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And look, I'm not in the game the way you are. I never have been. I would probably never will be, because I drink and curse on my shows. But you're bringing up more questions for me to ask here. But I eventually want to get to the meeting. But it's still a lot of, do you still see a lot of drama behind the scenes? Do you still see a lot of infighting behind the scenes? Are there words between VTA and SFATA?
I don't see any of that. I see other drama. And we won't get into too much of that, but I see other drama. And I'm going to tell you, if anybody's causing drama within the states or federally or otherwise inside this industry, period, it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's not needed. It's not appropriate. It's not acceptable anymore. We have to all come together. I promise you, there's enough work. Everybody can have a role. Come ask me. We will give roles out left, right, and center, because there is more work than any of us can do. Half of us have full-time jobs, me included.
Yeah.
Just so I can keep my shops open and I can, keep my house running. We all do that, but we still fight. And there's a lot of respect that goes into that for those that go, you know what? Put me where you need me. And that's what I do. Put me where you need me. Wherever you need me, just put me there. And that's the mentality we need in this industry. Not the look at me. I want to, nobody can save vaping alone. What, have we not gotten that clear?
Yeah.
You can't save it. I can't save it in the state alone. There's no way. It takes a full boat.
Yeah. So SFATA as an organization, again, for the people that don't know, and for my clarification too. So what do you look for as far as your members? You look for shops? Do you look for individuals? Like how do you take people in?
Shops, manufacturers, anybody who sells vaping products and has a business doing it, whether it's online, whether it's, a large distributor, manufacturer, whatever it is, if you play a role inside the industry, then you can be part.
Okay. And obviously there's some kind of dues, or there's some kind of like
Sure. And they are not astronomical.
Okay.
They're very I think that they're very reasonable.
Okay.
Considering what you get out of it.
Okay. Again, guys, with the replay, all of the information about SFATA is going to be in the replay post on tasteyourjuice.com. Should you be interested in whether you join or whether you want to help, right? You get a hold of Schell, get a hold of SFATA, and like she said, they will put you where you're needed, right? If you want to be involved in this.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the meeting. How often do you guys have this meeting?
So this was our national meeting. So this is once a year, and we have to have it once a year. But this one, and there's also, I think there's state meetings too. I'm not really well versed on how they've changed it yet, because remember, I just got back on the board. But April can give you all that information. Mandy can give you all that information on how often we do these. But this one was the national meeting that we do once a year. So 𝗍𝗵 and Greg Troutman spoke. Greg talked about the legal cases and the amicus brief that SFATA actually signed on to. And that's expected to be filed in at least one case in each district. And so Greg will be back in January.
Wait. Okay. Hold on. Let me stop you there.
Yep.
Case filed. Tell me more. What is that?
An amicus brief. And I can't give you too much, because when a lawyer comes on and speaks at a national meeting, we have to keep, but I can give you this much.
Okay.
That he is filing amicus briefs that we have signed on, and that those are expected to be filed at least one case in each district.
Okay. What does that mean? What is amicus brief? What does that mean?
So the amicus brief is what is filed in each district. So, and he's got a lot of, I'm going to have to I got to stop right there. I'm not allowed to give too much information. But he'll be back in January to give you more information and to update that status. So
okay, so you can't even say like what this brief means, what is being filed, like a general overview of what it is, because I don't understand it at all. Like what are you filing? Are you filing a stay against flavors? Are you filing we want to continue to do business? Are you filing we want to stop the tax? What is it that you're filing? I don't understand.
I can't give you any more information than that, because that has to come from his mouth. I'm
sorry. All right, that's fair enough. All right,
he's a lawyer, and I have to be very, very careful.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, go ahead. Continue. Carry on. I'm sorry.
So, but 𝗍𝗵 is working on administrative appeals. Okay, and there's no time deadline. So, but for more specifics, definitely reach out on the appeals and the deadlines. Go ahead and reach out to April. She can tell you more about that. The SFATA RIN members, though, because RIN is something that we have been working on launching, and we'll talk about that in a second, will be receiving a 1075 as part of their membership. And that is something that 𝗍𝗵 will file as well, which will include arguments that they restrict youth prevention, post-market surveillance program that wasn't even considered. So a post-market, so basically the RIN program is, it's a program that SFATA has been working on, and it's a tracking system for all vaping products. So that tracking system will help with market surveillance, as far as where those products actually end up. So it really works well on the federal level, and it was our argument and our help actually for against this federal part. So all of these federal, these taxations and the PMTAs and things, the RIN program is a great answer to that. And now we're going to start trying to roll it out in the states so that we can work that same route, same as cannabis did. And if we've got that tracking mechanism in there, it helps us to fight that argument.
Does RIN stand for anything? Is it an acronym for anything?
I think it is. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Okay,
but
so
it is. I think it is an acronym. I haven't heard what it actually stands for.
By the way, Nick Orlando says that RIN is the future. That's what he says. That's what Nick Orlando says.
It's a great tracking mechanism for all of these products, and if we roll it out in the right way in each state, then we can track all these products. And I mean, it gives aggregate type, data. Where, this individual, so it's not going to say specifically Phil went in and got, this flavor on this day, blah, blah, blah. It's going to say, this many bottles was sold of this product by these people that were within this age group. Which is great.
Do you know what RIN is going to verify? That watermelon peach is the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line. By the way, I don't think Nick ever watches the show. And all of a sudden you're on the show and here's Nick. Like Nick Orlando.
Nick!
Come on. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So
Nick has been phenomenal. We're going to talk about some of those too.
Nick is terrific. I love Nick. So it's kind of a way of promoting self-regulation, right?
Absolutely. And tracking to where if they argue that a lot of these individuals are going towards flavors that are teens, we can go, oh, wait a minute. We have this many adults between 40 and 49 that purchase this product. Where are you getting? I mean, we don't even have them between 20 and 25 purchasing this product.
Right.
So it's a great resource for aggregate data for, the future. He's exactly right.
In your opinion, where does the youth problem occur? Is it in the vape shop or the C-store?
C-store. And that is on the FDA data. That's #1. #2, it's also, they've already noticed that it's from brother, sister, cousin, best friend, whatever. It's somebody that they know. I mean, the same thing, same old, thing in song and dance from when, we were buying alcohol. I meant you, buying alcohol at 17 years old and, big brothers went in and got it for us, or, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing.
I didn't, Schell, just for the record, I didn't start drinking until I was 30 years old. All right, go ahead, carry on.
30? No. Really? Is that true?
No, it's not. No.
See, don't tell me. I'll believe you. Yeah. Well, I drank one drink. Okay, so this is true story. I drank one drink for about 15 years. Like literally that one drink for a span of 15 years because I drank so little. And then I was diagnosed and I was like, why am I being so healthy?
I know, right? Like, yeah. And by the way, look, I've been at shows with you. I've been in France with you, and you're a lightweight, and you should not drink. You really, you don't do. Okay, to let everybody know, we went a little bit personal here, okay, but we're gonna go a lot more personal next Wednesday. Schell has a podcast, right? You have a podcast, okay?
Yes.
And so me, Dan from New Jersey, who's going to pour kerosene over himself and light himself on fire. He and myself, we are going to be on the show with Schell Wednesday. I'll have information on Schell. You got a lot of homework to do after this show because you got to give me all of the websites, the links, the contact information, and now your podcast information. All of that is going to be with the replay post on tasteyourjuice.com. So I'm trying to keep this on track tonight and talk about the SFATA stuff and the SFATA meeting and what's going on. But Wednesday we get a little bit more personal, it'll be a little bit more fun. Probably with me and Dan on the show, probably a lot of cursing too. Is that okay? Am I allowed to curse on your podcast?
Y'all are so much fun. And let me tell you, this is my objective. And Phil, and I'll just tell you, I'm going to say this real quick. because I want everybody to understand. We are so down. I mean, we have been hit and hit and hit and hit and hit. And I said, on this podcast, we need to, I know that we've got a lot of people going, look at me, or maybe, look at this person, they're doing this. What about those heroes that don't come out on the camera? These guys that are working behind the scenes, because those are the real heroes. The ones that you don't see, that aren't posting on Facebook and those are the real heroes. Those are the ones that are having the meetings behind the curtain that you don't see, that are really, really turning the wheel. So I want to bring some of these people in, and we've got vape shop owners that are doing some phenomenal things. They're amazing. And nobody hears their story. Nobody hears the story. And I'm going to start bringing in vape shop owners. I'm going to start talking. I mean, think about, it's a Dolores Orlando. It's her, the one that you don't see what she's doing, but by golly, all of a sudden they've fought 38 bills in their state. And I mean, that's great. That's awesome. Or you've got a gentleman that we have down in Texas named, Don Weckler. And we've fought 48 bills and, only have 2 now with the registration and the 21. So these people that aren't always there in front of the camera and jumping in front or posting on social media, they're the heroes that never get seen. And I want to hear from them.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously there are a lot of people doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and there's the bigger voices, and there's the people that also don't do things directly, but also affect what's going on. I guess that would be like me, right? I mean, I'm not at the meetings. I'm not, but me just doing the show, affects vaping in a positive way. At least I hope so.
And everybody always talks very highly about you. You feel they love you. They love you.
I really appreciate that. I really do. You know what? I've lived my life with a motto that I use, and it's called "Friend to everyone and enemy to no one." Dimitri calls me the Switzerland of vaping. But I mean, I got no time for enemies. I got no time for drama. I hate all that bullshit. But anyway, let's go back to the meeting. Let's go.
Amen.
What else? What else happened at that meeting other than Ren? What else happened at the meeting?
So, of course, the call to action for the vape tax, when it's passed the House, we're going to have to work on it in the Senate, and we're going to have to work really hard, and we're going to need everybody's help. We really are. Everybody. I don't care who you are. If you've got a phone and your representative, we need to get that call to action out, and so we're going to be working on that. And we talked a little bit about that tax and how ridiculous it is, and work in that angle. So also, there's a whywevape.org, and I'm going to show y'all real quick. So whywevape.org is an initiative that SFATA started. Basically,
do me a favor, give me that website again, and I'll call up the website. What is it?
Oh, perfect. whywevape.org. Okay,
whywevape.org. Keep talking, Schell. Keep talking.
All right. So on the very first of the page, the very front of the page is I'm going to ask you to do it, Phil, too. It's really important, but it's a video. Basically, you're going to say this script that's on the front of that page, which is basically who you are, how old you are, why you vape, what's going to happen if they take your vape away, what's your favorite flavor, what do you vape the most? I mean, it's got kind of a script right there of what we're going to use inside the states. We can use it at federal level. We can use these videos to show these people that this is not just for youth. This is literally for our average 40-year-old, 35, 40-year-old vapor, that this has been the answer to the tobacco problem for them. And if they continue pushing, they're going to push every one of these individuals. And, you can fill in the blank, but to black market, back to cigarettes, whatever it is that you feel like, that is going to push you to, we want to hear from you. And we want to make sure that your legislators hear from you. And some people go, this isn't really that important. We're not going to use that. But that's not true, because OMB, state of Texas, can tell you, every one of my Texas members, I took them to the OMB the very first time, years ago when they were getting our feedback. And I took them to the OMB. And one of the things that I played was a video of an individual that literally walked into my shop pulling his oxygen tank behind him, just came from the hospital. And he said to me, he said, I'm going to die, but I'm not going to die like this. And I took that video and I took it to the OMB, and I made them listen to the whole video of where he started. And he was so perfect. He started and he said, you know, I said, I'm not going to vape those. I still have this video. I'm not going to vape those fruit flavors. And we started on taco. He goes, and now look at me. I got banana pudding and blah, blah, blah. And he was naming off all these flavors. And it was perfect to talk about those flavors and how it actually helps them on the path to success. So that's important to us. Go on there, give us your video. Tell us why you vape, how long you smoked, what you're vaping, and we can use all of that, those different angles to battle some things so they are really used and they are very important.
Okay, I know things like this have been tried before, but I mean, I hope this one works out, and I hope it's utilized and it gets us somewhere, right? But I do have the website up now, and I was showing it a little bit while you were talking about it. Here it is, Why We Vape. It is whywevape.org. We want to hear your stories. They give you a little bit of information about what's going on. Time to get loud. It looks like we have a little intro video here. And they basically give you a script, right? So it's not like you have to make this up. You can look at the other videos that are already up here. You can go through this script and just kind of fill in your own information. You record your video, and then you submit your video right here, okay? I will certainly be doing one. And you know, it's something you should support. And of course, the information for that website as well will be on tasteyourjuice.com in the replay post. This is going to be a big replay post. You're giving me a lot of work to do, Schell. I don't like to do a lot of work.
I know. Well, you gave me work to do.
Okay. I know. Well, we gave each other work to do. Okay. So
you know what though? And you say you're not sure these will work. It depends on how you use them. It depends on how you use them. If you're using and picking and choosing certain ones, they can be very dramatic. And the more, you know, the more heartfelt you are, if it's scripted like that, maybe it wouldn't work. Yeah. But if you're really heartfelt and you know what this really means to you, and they're taking your rights away. That's what it is. I mean, that is the end result.
Right. So it would probably be a bad video if I say, hello, my name is Phil Bissardo. I'm 52 years old, and I vape watermelon peach, the #1 best-selling flavor in the unsalted line. It's ridiculous. Okay, but no, I mean, I understand. I got to ask, though, I got to be devil's advocate a little bit, Schell. You know, is anybody going to give a fuck? Is anybody going to care? Right? Because to me, nobody gives a shit. The people who need to see this don't give a shit, right?
You're wrong.
They don't. Okay, I hope I'm wrong. And I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you rebut. I'm gonna let you rebut. Okay, but I don't believe that anybody gives a shit. I believe that everybody thinks, right, that we are a bunch of dirty smokers and they can't wait for us to die away, right? Because, and I say this a lot, right? We went down this road, right? The We Vape, We Vote, and we fought hard on this, right? And that frustrates me. That frustrates me because here's why. It shouldn't be about We Vape, We Vote. It shouldn't be about taxes. It shouldn't be about anything. It should be about one thing, and that is if I vape and I don't smoke, I could live longer. If I vape and I don't smoke, I might not die of cancer. That should be enough. That should be enough. End of fucking story. That's it. Right? But we got to do this. We vape, we vote. We got to do these videos, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and we got taxes, and does anybody really give a shit? Go ahead.
I don't know of any fight in history that was passionate and honest, real, just normal people, normal everyday Americans. I don't know of any fight in history that was easy. I just don't. And if you want the easy way out, it ain't there. We've tried it. It is not there. But this isn't about the easy way. This is about the right way. This is about doing the right thing. And honestly, this is the right thing. That's it. And it is not wasted effort. I've sat there, I showed you. I mean, I've sat there and watched, teenagers or PTA members or someone stand up and fight on our side. I've seen it because they are listening, and sooner or later they're going to get it's common sense. It's common sense. And I don't care if they say the UK vapes differently. They get it. And at one point, what we're doing is fighting money, Phil. We're fighting money. But all the biggest fights in history have been about money and greed or status. I mean, you think about slavery. It was all about, your plantations and your crops. That's money. All of it is about money. And if we give up now, well, then you lose.
Yeah.
And look, make a video.
Yeah, no, and look, I support any effort that might help this industry. I do, right? But and that's why I love your enthusiasm. I just feel like you get beat down, you get beat down, you get beat down, right? And you're right though. You get beat down, you got to get up, and you got to fight even harder. Nick is saying that the videos do work. He said it worked in Florida. SB 810 was vetoed partially because of the pics and the videos. He says, "I promise," right? And that's good. So maybe I'm wrong on this one, and I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, and I hope I am. I hope this does help. But when I look at things like, Jesus Christ, a multi-million-dollar picture like A Billion Lives or You Don't Know Nicotine, when shit like that doesn't work, how does stuff like this work?
You got to keep pushing. You just got to keep pushing. And we talked about that. I mean, I told you earlier, and this is more personal, but I got thrown off my horse, right? So I got thrown off my horse, fractured my sacrum all the way through. And I'll tell you, and they said, do not get back on a horse for 6 months. You have to wait until this. Well, so we went up to the arena, and I got on that horse, and I'm going to tell you, I was shaking from head to toe. You would have thought I have never ridden in my life. I was true PTSD. I was a wreck. I mean, I can't believe I didn't cry. I was close. But I know what it feels like to get kicked and fallen off, but you got to get back on. Even if it takes a couple of times where you shake, which it has, and still you got to keep going. You can't stop. Don't let them win. If you let them win, we're over.
Yeah.
We can't let them win.
No, you're right. And like I said, I love the enthusiasm. I love the positive attitude. And I wish there was more of that out there. I wish there was more unity out there. Like we talked a little bit before the show started. Like, why is there at this point? Why is there not a summit, right? VTA, SFATA, and whatever other organizations and groups that are out there. Why are you guys not locking yourselves in a room and saying, you know what, shit's real. Let's work together and figure out. Dimitris,
I'll let you answer that question. You can answer that question better than anybody. You answer me. Why are we not locked in a room? Why are we not coming up with stuff? And why are we not unified in the message all the way across? We say the message, we said it, and everybody follows through. And you tell me why.
Because egos.
Done. Egos are stupid. Stupid.
I know.
So stupid. It's just ridiculous.
I know, Schell.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. I had another good question. So, would you say that those are the main things that came out of this meet? How many people attend a meeting like that?
So I don't know hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds. We'll say hundreds. Right now at this point it's hundreds. And it's mainly because we've got this mentality of we're losing, oh forget it, oh screw it, oh everything. It's infectious. It's like a cancer. And I'm here to go, stop that. Stop it. We can't have that anymore. We can't have that infectious cancer. We've got to have, I want it to be thousands in those meetings. I want it to be thousands that are at those, I want thousands of people pissed off that they're trying to take your rights away. If they come to my house and try to take my gun, oh, they are going to have a fight. And that's the same thing. If you've got that, that drive for something that you possess. And don't keep saying, oh, I'll just go to the black market. Well, that's crap, because there are some people that don't have access to that. I've got elderly people that don't have access to the black market. I've got people that they rely on this product to continue to be successful and not pick those cigarettes up. And those people drive me every day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I've been saying something very similar about all those people that always said, well, I'll just DIY. I got no problem. I'm just going to DIY. Yeah, that's a very selfish outlook. To me, that's a very selfish outlook, right? Because that works for you, but that doesn't work for my mom. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for 90% of the vaping population, maybe 80%, of the vaping population. That's not going to help. Could you imagine somebody's thinking about vaping from smoking, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is great. You can come over to vaping, but here's your recipe that you're going to have to mix to put it in your e-cig. That's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Well, I mean, remember when, and I always told my customers this, we need something very, very simple for you.
Yeah.
Because when you get frustrated with this product, the first thing you're going to do, forget it. I can just light a cigarette. Of course you will, because it's super simple. And if this is complicated and you got, coil issues and all kinds of stuff, you're going to toss it aside. Same thing with them. If you give them some kind of recipe, they're going to be like, and I can go down to the convenience store, grab a pack of cigarettes and light it. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, let me read this first. This is actually from Bill. Advocates burn out trying to carry the fight so long on their own. How can the average vapor help? And how badly are fresh bodies needed to help keep the fight going?
So badly. And okay, we all know we live in a digital world. So, if we can get a committee of people together, and I'm working on that right now, a committee of people together, and we're just going to call them the cheerleaders. They are going to be the individuals that will push out the CTAs. They will push out, things that will be instrumental in our state legislation and our federal legislation. Those people can do simple things every single day that will help astronomically, because if we're trying to all sit down and push forward a CTA, and I'm going, Phil, would you push this out? Nick, will you push this out? So-and-so, will you push this out? And I'm constantly doing that. I could be doing that all day long. But if we've got a collection of individuals that send that out to their people, then it spreads faster and we can get more people in the game.
Okay, well, it's interesting because something that I always thought about personally, right? I have said from day one to SFATA, to VTA, to CASA, to anybody, if you want a message, I always said tasteyourjuice.com is at your disposal, right? When it comes to that, just all you got to do is get a hold of me. But you know what? SFATA has never contacted me directly. CASA has never. Hold on. CASA has never contacted me directly. VTA has never contacted me directly. Right? I get their newsletters, right? But if we didn't have this call tonight, would I know about whywevape.org?
Probably not. But you would have found out if you would have come to the meeting that I invited you to.
So, yeah, but I know I'm welcome at the meeting, but I don't consider myself a member of SFATA. And again, I've never considered myself an advocate of to your level, to Dimitris' level. I've never considered myself an advocate, right? So. Again, I just feel like if we didn't talk tonight, if we didn't have this show, again, I wouldn't know about whywevape.org.
Well, guess what? You are now going to know about it all, because I am going to blow your phone up. So
okay, and I welcome that. So that's a good thing.
Y'all heard that? That's on recording.
It's there. Yep. It's on the channel. Yeah, and it is a good thing, I help out in ways that I can help out. So whether it be a post on Taste Your Juice, which goes to my Twitter, which goes to my Facebook, or it be a mention on this show, I've always done what I could, how I can.
We would love your help and love your help all the time. You know that.
What was the overall feeling? The perception. I'm trying to think of the right word. At the SFATA meeting, what was it? Was it like, were people positive? Were they beat up? Were they like, we're never going to get through this? We are going to get through this. What was the feeling there?
Well, I think the overall feeling is, and of course this was a so it, you know, you didn't get a lot of the emotions because you don't see people on camera except for the speakers, but I think overall, from what I've heard, is people are just really beat down, and they are. I mean, they should be. Heck, I'm beat down. I'm tired. I'm worn out. But I can say it a million times. You just can't quit. You can't quit. And the more people that quit, the harder it is. Like, you know, Bill said, the harder it is on those advocates that go, you know, I hate to say it, but stop whining. let's just get it done. Just get her done. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's not, none of us asked for this. None of us asked for this. And none of us, you know, deserve this. We don't. But it's our fight. And we can't, there are people out there who physically cannot fight. They don't understand internet. They don't, I mean, I've got so many people that are retired, that are older, that they just don't have access to the stuff we do, or understand how to work a room with congressmen, or, you know, putting together PowerPoints that really resonate with the listeners, you know, things like that, things that are my strong suit. There are some people, but there are other people that have another strong suit that I don't have. And we need those on our team. All of us collectively are all experts in something. And that's where we can use everybody collectively. And that's what boggles me about this industry, was everybody's got to be, you cannot do this alone.
Right.
And 10 heads are better than one. Get in here. Tell me what I'm forgetting. What am I forgetting?
And that I agree with. I think if you give somebody something to do that's within their comfort zone, they're going to do it, right? So what you have to do is you have to look for, well, what does this person offer me, right? And I will utilize this person that way, right? But I think some people get a little bit uncomfortable when they're utilized outside of their comfort zone, or they're trying to be utilized outside of their comfort zone, right?
Well, and that's the blessing of a good leader. A good leader will find their people.
Yes.
It's kind of like, you know, you got some people that have ADHD and they don't work very well in the details, and you got other people that are real detail oriented. You look at your people and go, all right, you're this and you're this, so you do this and you do this. And they're like, oh, but you know what? It's even better if you ask them, what do you like doing?
Yeah.
What do you like doing? What are you going to enjoy doing out of this?
Yeah. And Nick Orlando, you, my friend, are welcome here anytime you want to go out on the boat. I invited Schell too, and she said if she's away from her horses for more than a week, they're going to die. So we don't want that to happen. So Schell, if you want to come, just bring the horses with you. That's what I would do.
We'll just put them on the boat.
Yeah, we'll put them on the boat. Yeah, right. I think the horses and the cat would get along really well. Let's see. Okay, this is from Bill again. Bill, adding to the content tonight. How much info are vapors missing by not directly being involved, only seeing media releases? Come on, Bill. You know when vapors only see media releases, nothing but fucking doom and gloom and death. And broken bones and depression from nicotine. Okay. Not directly being involved, to help as an advocate too. Okay. So that's gonna irk me. That's gonna rub me the wrong way, because I always thought, yes, it's nice if vapors want to get involved, they should get involved, but they shouldn't have to get involved. I think that the companies that have made so much money off of vapors over the past how many years, right? I've been a vapor myself for over 10 years, right? I think they should really be stepping up. And I want to ask your opinion on this, Schell, too, because Dimitri is a big proponent, and so am I, of PR and having a PR firm to help combat their narrative with our narrative. Every time they post something negative about vaping, we show them what the truth is, right? Every time you see this negative story, we show them what the truth is, right? And it's, I don't think, for everything you look at in mainstream media is their narrative, and it's anti-vaping for the most part, right? And we don't have our voices heard on that level. So what's your opinion of fighting that on a large scale PR firm way?
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, with all those individuals that are beat down, that are not helping fund any of that, it makes it very difficult to have a PR firm, because PR firms are not cheap.
No, they're very expensive.
So
you're talking millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're extremely expensive. And so when you're talking about, we can do a checklist all night long. We need press releases. We need, maybe we need some type of anti-vaping campaign that runs on cable network. We need something to go on social media.
What kind of campaign?
What did I say?
You said anti-vaping campaign.
I meant vaping.
I think you meant pro-vaping campaign.
Pro-vaping campaign. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I've been saying anti-vaping campaign because that's what I'm battling. We've got one of those.
Yeah, we got lots of those.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, if you're talking about all of these different things that are checking these boxes, that's a lot of money, and it's a lot of different people. So you've got a lot of volunteers is what you got. You got a lot of volunteers that are, myself included, where we go out there and we spend our own money to go to DC. We spend our own money to go to the state and stay so many, days in hotels to talk to congressmen and to talk to senators and to talk to reps or wherever it is that we're going. We spend our own money and we're volunteers. And then you ask us to pay for this type of campaign. And then you've got other people that aren't going to pay a dime because they don't believe any of it works. And so you've got all these different things going against these. I totally agree, but where are you going to get the money? Now, I'll address your other issue. Sorry. Shh.
It's okay.
So my dog.
It's okay.
So I'll address the other issue, or the other question that you had is, should the vapors be involved? So I'm going to answer this as easily as I can. If somebody tries to take away my guns, I am not a gun manufacturer, but I'm a gun owner, and by golly, I will be there to fight that, because you will not do that. If someone tries to case in point, somebody tries to talk to your children about a certain campaign that you don't want to, I'm not an administrator at school, but I got kids, and I'll be there. It depends on if it matters to them, yeah, because this is their rights too. It's not just ours. Right. Now, yes, we should help fund it, and we should do all we can to help support those individuals. But do I believe that consumers should get involved? Absolutely, I think they should, because it's their rights too.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, but like if let's say they try to take away menthol cigarettes, right? Is every menthol smoker going to go to bat, or is big tobacco going to throw money at that?
They're always going to throw money. Whatever they can throw money at to cut us at the knees, they're going to throw money at. But I hate to say it, we got more heart. And that wins every time. And the more tenacity and the more heart you've got, they may have a bunch of lobbyists up there. I have buried them left, right, and center because they have no heart. They are in it for the money. They are being paid by somebody telling them what to say. They are scripted, and they have no heart. I have all the heart in the world, and I can bury any argument you've got. Bring it. And I promise you, I'll bring it just because I feel so strongly about what we do.
Yeah. Very good, Schell. Very good. You are still a little spitfire. I haven't talked to you in a long time. I'm happy that we got to do. You remember I said we might do this tonight, and I said if we do it, it probably won't even go an hour. But if it flows, we're gonna go longer. It's flowing. It's flowing. Hour and a half. Let me get your opinion on a couple other things too. Disposables. What is your take? What is SFATA's take on disposables, and what do you think What do you think? How do you think it's affecting the industry?
I'm not going to answer SFATA's take because I don't know, and I'll let the board, address that. My take on it is, anything that somebody uses, if it helps them and it's a vaping product, I'm all for. I'm not real crazy about these high milligram nicotine products. I'm really not. I've always been the one where I've weaned down people all the way down to zero for years and years and years. And, I've used this argument at the state and said, hey, we've got, this product that is, we've got our products that go anywhere from 24 down to 0. And you've got this product that is 30 and 50. What do you think? What's their goal?
Yeah. Initiation.
Our goal is definitely to wean this down, so it just, I want these products available to our consumers, period. So disposables, like I said, I mean, if it helps them, knock yourself out. I would rather you wean down myself, but that's our goal. But you don't have to go all the way off nicotine, but it's nice if you have a goal in mind.
Yeah. And we just got a beautiful super chat from David. I hardly ever get super chats, right? I know there's other reviewers, other vape guys out there. They just beg for super chats during the whole show. But we just got one from David. Thank you very much for a $20 super chat. And it's not only Grim Green that says this. A lot of people say this, but he says, as Grim Green says, no one has to do everything, but everyone has to do something, right? And I agree with that. And even if it's as small as going to 𝗷𝗵𝗿.org and recording that video, at least it's something, right? At least it's something. And again, it's got to be within your comfort zone, but something would be nice, right?
Yep. Everything is appreciated.
Yeah.
No matter what. And that's what we have. And that's why I'm doing the podcast. There are so many times where these people that are doing things, we don't stop and say thank you. Trust me, not every advocate gets told thank you all the time either. But, these guys that work really hard behind the scenes and nobody sees it and says, thanks for what you do. Whatever it is you're doing, you reach somebody. You may not have reached everybody, but you reach somebody, and that's all that matters.
By the way, Larry finds you extremely attractive. Now, he hasn't said that. He hasn't said that out loud. He hasn't typed that. He hasn't texted me behind the scenes. But here's why I know that. Right? Because Larry usually goes to bed by now. He's usually in bed. He always leaves like right around 11 o'clock. He announces that he's going to bed. Everybody says goodnight to Larry. But here he is, still here.
Well, at least somebody does. Thanks, Larry.
Look at what time it is. Very late. So, Larry must find you extremely attractive. So, he doesn't find me very attractive. And he really shouldn't. But...
he does.
Not 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Usually Larry signs off 10 o'clock. But he's still here, Schell. So you're doing something right. You're doing something right.
Phil's good looking tonight. That's what he said. He said, I got to stick around for Phil. He is looking good.
When's the next SFATA meeting?
I don't know. I didn't write that down.
Okay.
I know it's somewhere. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't lie.
I expect nothing but honesty from you. But what is it? What do they hold? You might have answered this before. I don't remember. Is it Is it quarterly? Is it bi-yearly? How do they do it?
So yearly we have a national meeting where we bring everybody in. But your states are having meetings,
Okay.
It should be, periodically. It slows down when you're out of session, but anytime anybody wants a meeting with any SFATA person, ask for it. We can do it.
So was this the national meeting that just happened? It was the national meeting. Okay.
Yep.
And Austin,
they're meeting all the time.
Austin was the MC.
He was.
Did he do a good job?
He did a great job. It's Austin. Did a great job.
I know.
Always does a great job.
He's got that voice. He's got that personality. He's got that something, that Austin thing going. He's just a fun guy. I mean, he was the guy back in vaping back in the day. Like when I started, he just sold tons of liquid. He was the MC on every show. It's amazing.
Never stutters. Never.
No, never does.
Polished.
Never does. It's something like when I look back at this industry, this is more stuff that we should be talking. Remember the podcast Wednesday night, okay?
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Fun.
But when I look back and I think about like the first time I saw Austin emceeing a show, the first time I met you, like going to the Vapor Cons and it feels like a million years ago. Do
you remember our airplane? Do you remember the airplane that I taught you?
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. I remember.
This is supposed to lift your mood. If you're getting really stressed out about vaping laws, just do this. It works.
Shit. I do this now. I just get fucking dizzy. That's all. Especially if I'm drinking.
Got photos of us doing that.
I know. I have some photos up on the screen of us together. Yeah, there's a really beautiful shot that we look like a couple. Like we look like husband and wife in that one photo. It's really great. It's the one I told you about. Remember?
Oh yeah, that one was at that was
Billion
at the
Lives.
premiere of A Billion Lives.
It was a Billion Lives premiere.
California, right?
Yes, California.
Yeah. I went to the one. You went to the one in Paris. We all went to the one in Paris.
We all went to the one in Paris.
Fun. It was fun.
That was fun, and again, it just feels like a million years ago.
It does.
And I think it's because this industry has changed so much from where we were to where we are, right? And I think that's probably why I feel a little bit deflated, and I'm happy that there are people like you still out there and still fighting the good fight and still positive and energetic and pumping some hope into everybody. I think we need hope in this industry, and not just for the people who have businesses and livelihood. You have shops, Nick has shops, right? But also for the people who they need to discover this, right? The smokers need to find this for tobacco harm reduction when everything else has failed. Because look, it works. How do I know it works? Because it worked for me. Because nothing else did. Quitting cold turkey did not work. Patches did not work. Gums did not work. Nothing worked. I tried. Nothing worked. I tried this. I stopped smoking that day.
Well, and there's data out there that shows,
of course, it's more successful.
Yeah, I mean, you can show that to all these. I remember back in the day, I was sitting around, and I remember I didn't have a lot of money to open my shop, so I had a glass table in the middle of the shop, had chairs all around it, and I remember those chairs being full, people standing up, wanting to, just begging to use this product, and I would have to show them the product all as a group, because there were way too many of them. I'd be like, all right, we're going to go through the instructions. Everybody come around. I remember that. And I go, man, I would die for just to be at that table with it, to be full.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
I would love that.
Those are the things that I want back. What I want back is the going to the grand opening of a vape shop and seeing the excitement and the enthusiasm and like people wanting to quit and wanting to get involved. Going back to the early shows, and I say this all the time, I sound like a broken record, but like when it was in a hotel convention center, and it was the convention room, and on the outskirts there were the folding tables, and everybody had their little products, right? And a banner. It was a folding table, your product, and a banner, and that was it. That was it, right? And then in the center, but the magic happened in the center of that room, because that's where all the vapors were, and they had their little toolkits, and it was like they were teaching each other, and everybody was getting involved, and they were making friends, and all of that worked. All of that helped to get so many smokers off of smokes and onto vaping. That helped so much. Going to a C-store and buying a fucking disposable is not going to do it. It might do it for some, but it's not going to do it like it did it back then. No way.
It won't. No, I agree with you. I think they need the training. They need to understand how their body changes. They need to understand all of the different things that they go through and the way that they can continue to be successful. The reason flavors are there, that's very important. I mean, all of these different things. But don't forget that all those people that were around that table are now longtime vapors
and we're still fighting for them because they were new at one point, but they're not new now. And we still can't stop fighting just because they're not new.
We can't. That's why I always say it. Like it breaks my heart. Every time I hear a shop goes out of business, it breaks my heart. Especially when it's somebody. I'll say that. Especially when it's somebody I know. It should break evenly for everybody. But when it's somebody I know, somebody I've been involved with, Jeremy, just a Good Life Vapor, he just made an announcement. Broke my heart. Like almost like a tear comes to my fucking eye. It hurts. Like that much because I remember Jeremy. I remember Jeremy. Huh?
I remember when he opened.
I remember him coming up to me at a show and shaking my hand, and he said, "Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much." I said, "For what?" He said, "You paid for like 2 of my shops." Just like your review on Good Life Vapor and the couple of flavors that you tried, and you gave it a thumbs up and a street shout out and whatever. And like back in the day, when I said something like that, fucking sold like unbelievable amounts of product, right? And to know that guy isn't doing, like, I visited Jeremy's shops, I recorded, I interviewed, like everything, and now he's not there anymore. My God. And that's another thing that pisses me off. It pisses me off that like a Juul might continue, and a guy like fucking Jeremy can't. That sucks because it's guys like Jeremy that built this industry, not Juul. Fuck you, Juul. Okay, not Views. Fuck you, Views. Jeremy should go on, not you guys.
I agree.
Fuck.
And you're absolutely right because those are the people that had the heart to really want to help people, quit smoking and turn to vapor. Yeah, it makes me sick to my stomach. It does. And it's not easy. With shops, and I'm sure Nick can tell you, I'm sure that James can tell you, every one of us can tell you, it is not easy to stay alive right now. It is tough. It's hard.
It's hard. Okay, hard. And I think this is another problem, Schell. This is another problem. And this is a problem that I'm having sending people to a vape shop. Okay? And I'll make this statement again. I am not anti-CBD. I am not anti-Delta-8. I am not anti-THC. I'm not anti-glass, bong, dildos, whatever you're fucking selling at your shop. Right? None of it. I'm not anti any of it. Okay? But when you start mixing it with nicotine vapor, it's giving our industry a bad name. And when all of these shops, to make ends meet, and I understand why they're doing it, doesn't mean I have to like it, all right? But when all of these shops are going in that direction because they need to survive, I don't think that's doing anything for the nicotine vaping industry. What are your thoughts on that?
Beggars can't be choosers, Phil. You got people that they're saying, I got to do this in order just to you either want them there or you don't. And, I'm not one to really judge people on certain things. I'm not really, especially when it comes to that stuff. I don't think that it makes us look great, with THC and all of the, the different ways, but I'm not in their shoes, and I'm not in their shoes personally. I'm in their shoes personally myself in my shops, and it is freaking hard. And I'm fixing to close another one very soon. I can't do it. I can't hold it up. One of them's failing, and one of them's holding up, the other one, and you just can't do it. So you either bring in different products. What are you going to mix it with? You're going to have a breakfast, nook in there. What are you going to mix it with? We're kind of strapped, and some of our leases are pretty specific too. So, we don't always assume that we know everything, and we don't, and if it keeps us allowed to fight a day, then it is what it is. We just gotta, it's kind of like I always say, I used to look at somebody that their child was screaming in the aisle and all kinds of stuff. And until, the whole autistic thing came out, and I thought, man, I was an idiot. I used to, chastise that person underneath my breath because they weren't, beating their child into submission. But you don't ever know what's going on next door. And so it's easy to judge a lot of that. I know that, as a whole, it doesn't look great, but what, if you've got another answer for them, I'm sure they'd love to hear it. Some of them.
Schell, I wished I had the answer other than split your store in two, keep all one side nicotine vaping, keep all, maybe even a divider, maybe different look to the employees. I don't know what the right answer is, right? Alls I know is I personally did not sign up for that.
Yeah.
Right? When I got involved for one reason and one reason alone, and that was tobacco harm reduction, nicotine vaping, getting people off of cigarettes. Right?
But if they gotta close their store.
What's that?
But if they got to close their store or try to bring in something that'll help keep it afloat and keep those products available for that 70-year-old person or whoever it was that started, where do you draw the line? So, you got to look at it in all angles, especially right now. I mean, we're at war. This is war.
No, I know. Well, that's what I say. Like, I get it. I understand it. I understand that you got to feed your family. I get it. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
Sure.
Right? I think that's fair.
I get it. No, absolutely. I mean, everybody's got an opinion on everything. And like I said, I mean, I've got some real good friends that have had to, bring in, I don't even, what's it called? Anyway, bring in certain things that were a little questionable, I guess. But I understand. I mean, it helps them to keep it open for their vapors, because other than that, they would have had to close their doors. So, yeah. I mean, they can sell it out of their trunk, I guess.
Yeah. And by the way, just to prove that I'm not anti, I tried a fucking Delta 8 pen. Holy fuck.
Did it work? What is it like?
Delta 8?
I haven't used it.
Might as well be straight up THC.
Really?
I couldn't tell the difference. I mean, I'm no expert in that world, but I couldn't tell the difference.
That's crazy.
Shit. Yeah, okay. When I tried it and I felt the way I did, I was like, this is fucking legal? All right, but anyway. Oh, man. Hey, I've always said, like, I don't know how people, like, view me, but from day one, I've said this phrase, I'm not down on the bud. Right? Look, I was a fucking nightclub DJ. Come on. But anyway.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like it shocked that. By the way, Larry is still here.
Hi, Larry.
So, like, I can't believe he's still here. I don't know. I think I might have to have you on more often, Schell, and then we'll get a full night of Larry.
Well, we never, ever, ever lack for something to talk about.
No, I told you, if it flows, we're gonna go and usually we go until, I don't know, my watch is totally not set the right way. I didn't turn the clock back. That's why on this one. But we usually go till 11, and we're damn close. We got 10 minutes to go. So let me recap a couple of things.
Okay.
A lot of stuff was mentioned tonight. whywevape.org, a few other things. Schell, like getting people involved with SFATA, whether it be on an individual basis to help out, or whether it be a shop or a manufacturer to be a part of SFATA. So there's a lot of information that was given, websites, contact information. I'll have all of that information for you on the replay post that I do on tasteyourjuice.com, and it'll probably take me a day to get everything together. So just bear with me on that.
We got the CPA coming out for the tax coming out very soon for Senate side.
Okay, so like I said, utilize me, and we'll get that up on the website. Again, it'll share out on my Twitter feed and on my Facebook. So we'll do. Bill, if there's any last minute questions, please gather those and send those along right now. Bruni says it's great to see Schell in action again. I agree with you, Bruni. I agree with you. I wish we had a bunch of Shells. Could the world handle a bunch of Shells?
No.
Probably not.
No.
And again, we're going to get a little bit more personal, have maybe a little bit more fun. There were some really angry clips of 𝗶𝗵𝗶 tonight. Like, I wish that somebody would like go through and grab some of those angry, because they're powerful. To me, they're powerful.
Powerful.
Right? I think so. Fuck, I might clip them out and just do shorts. Everybody else is doing shorts now. I should
That's
do
that
shorts.
face you need at your state or at federal. Just
Well, yeah, but that's why I say, look, the reason why I don't go to these, the meetings and the government meetings and meet with your representative, because I'm going to tell everybody to go fuck themselves. Because they're making no sense, right? That's the way I am. I'm going to listen to you I'm going to listen to your bullshit.
Reasonable. What's wrong with you?
I'm going to listen to your bullshit and your horse shit and your political nonsense for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to say, you're a fucking idiot and you need to go fuck yourself. That's why I cannot be a you. That's why. Because chances are you're going to be very polite and you're going to be politically correct and you're going to try to I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. So that's why I can't do it. So
I would not be invited back if I did that, and that would not do any of us any good. So
absolutely right, and that's why we need people like you doing your thing in front of those people, and maybe people like me behind the scenes.
You being the cheerleader and sending out CTAs and all kinds of stuff. That's right. See, that's finding where we belong, right?
Absolutely. Everybody's got their place, right? Everybody
We
does their thing.
appreciate you more than you know, Phil.
Like if anybody ever accused me of like, hey, you didn't do enough for vaping, again, I tell you to go fuck yourself.
Cool. I would tell them that.
I have been trying to represent this industry in the best possible light, with outside of my cursing and my drinking, for years.
Years and years and years.
For years and years and years. And, I want it to continue. I want it to continue because I want that magic back, Schell. I want that magic time, that golden era when we were just converting so many people. And that's another fear that I have. The fear that I have, we got about 7 minutes, is that you win every single battle. Taxes go away. Flavor bans go away. Everything goes away. Open market, right? And people don't want to try the product because of all the horse shit that mainstream media has fed these people over the years. Because I guarantee you there's a lot of people that think vaping is going to kill you. 𝗍𝗵𝗵𝗀, all this other bullshit, it's like, and we are seeing this more and more in mainstream media where truth and facts don't mean shit. It's all about the narrative. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put this shit out. Just meets my narrative, right? Both sides, narrative, right? And if it's wrong, we'll retract it, but it'll be like this little retraction that nobody will ever read. Damage already done, right? So, like I said, I fear that even if you guys win, like Nick Orlando wins, everybody wins, that we still can't get people to vape because they just don't trust it. They don't trust it. They don't believe in it. They think cigarettes are going to kill them in 20 years. Vaping is going to kill them in a year. So I think we need to get beyond that too.
I agree. We could sit here and go with every negative we can on everything that they've pushed us on, and they pushed us on a bunch of everything. We're killing people. We're depressing people. Next thing you know, we're going to be like, limbs are going to be falling off.
Well, yeah, we're breaking bones.
Yeah, exactly. So breaking bones, we're doing all kinds of stuff, but we've just got to keep pushing and just pray that we reached them once, we can reach them again.
Yeah. And this is kind of like along the lines of what I'm saying. Bill just wrote, how much harder is it to get the truth out there when ants can promote any lie they want and our industry isn't allowed to promote the truth, which is right. You know what I say?
I don't ever listen to not allowed anymore. I think not allowed is just stupid. And now we're just not allowed to do anything, and I just don't listen to it anymore. So
yeah, to be honest with you, Bill, at this point, and I've seen this done in with Naples Vapor. Vaping is healthier. They just fucking advertise it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good. You should. You know what? You should. You should, because number one, free speech. Number two, fact, truth, right? I mean,
we're already illegal. Who cares? If they go, that's illegal. Dude, I'm already illegal. I'm already illegal. So who cares? May as well just hit it on all sides.
Yeah. I find it interesting. Juul, so we have, this one, God knows what that lawsuit is going to cost them. And this lawsuit just cost them $14.5 million. Why are they doing that? Do they know something about their PMTA that nobody else does? Right? I mean, their PMTA did not get approved yet.
And I'm sitting there thinking, with all that money that they paid in lawsuits, we could have freaking won.
Yep.
They could have put out all kinds of public release public releases and press releases and all kinds of things that would dispel all of this propaganda that's gone out with all the money they paid for being dumb.
Yep. Totally agree with you. Just imagine what $14.5 million can do. Oh, and by the way, I love this part right here. More than 12 million of Juul's 14.5 million payment to Arizona is earmarked for programs designed to stop youth vaping. Bullshit. God knows what that's going to go to.
I know how to stop it. Why don't you put it in 21 and over shops and be done with it?
That's what I don't, Schell. That's what I don't understand. Like, we have T21. Again, that should be end of story right there. Boom, done. End of story, right? Now, like you said, now fix your side because your side is broken, right?
We passed that law, right?
What's that?
We actually put an amendment, not this last session, the session before. We put an amendment inside the Tobacco 21 law that was to take all products out of convenience stores and put them in 21 and over shops.
Like, why not? At this point, why not? Why not the vape shop become the liquor store?
Because of money. I walked into a room full of 18 individuals, the Convenience Store Association, the Grocery Store Association, the RJ Reynolds, Altria, Juul, all of them going, you can't do that because it passed. You can't do that. And I was like, kind of just did. And they're like, no, you can't change our distribution method like that overnight. I mean, it was unbelievable. And of course, they pushed so much because of the money. Didn't have to do anything with the health. It's all the money. And they pushed so hard, they pulled it out. The bill author pulled it out. But it was passed for 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I think a vape product, maybe a few vape products should be in C-stores, right? I mean, it's a convenient thing. But I think back in the day when the vape products, a few of the vape products were in the convenience store, what it did is it got somebody to try it that was normally going to buy their pack of cigarettes, and they tried it and they're like, hey, there's something here. Let me do some more research, blah, 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 try another one, blah, blah, blah. It leads them to the vape shop, right? But now I think it's just kids, younger people, whatever, going into the C shops and getting their puff bar, whatever the hell they're using, right? And using them in schools, using them wherever, and look, I'm sure there are exceptions to that rule. I'm sure there are some people that are using these products to not smoke, but I don't think it's the way I consider them our products from the vape shops back in the day. I don't think they're working in that way. I honestly don't.
Well, I mean, but if you're looking at the FDA data says that the majority of the warning letters went out to C-stores by the tune of 91%. 91% of the warning letters were to C-stores. Yeah. So if you have a problem with youth vaping, and that's pointing to 91, you can make a 91% impact overnight.
Yep.
Take them out of convenience stores, put them in 21 and over, and then up. Mm-hmm. You have no argument there. So go with your own data.
Yep. But why would that be challenging? That would be challenging because Big Tobacco has their products in the C stores, and Big Tobacco has all the lobbying power and all the money. That's why it's going to.
And that would be way too. That'd be way too easy, right?
Yep. Hey, Schell.
Because it makes sense.
Well, we officially did it. We went an hour longer than I thought we were going to. So listen.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry at all. And by the way, everybody who's watching the show and everybody who watches the replay, I hope you guys appreciate Schell coming on last minute because this was a last minute show. You guys know from last week we were not going to do a show tonight, but I thought this would be cool just for you to hear from Schell, number one, and number two, to hear about that SFATA meeting that just happened too. Schell, do you have any final words for the audience here tonight?
No, just don't stop. I mean, I know we can get down and we get kind of into our own heads on some of this, but just don't stop. I mean, all of the greatest fights were just from people just continuing to push forward. You know, it may be money, but we got a lot of heart out there, guys, and just show us your heart. Just keep fighting.
I love that, Schell. And by the way, I think Larry is really showing his heart tonight because he's still here. Clearly, he's infatuated with you. You know, and I agree.
Thank you for having me.
Well, come on. You can come on anytime you want. And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you came on. And I'm glad we got to talk. I'm glad, like, literally, guys, seriously, I have not seen Schell. How many years now? How many years? I have, and I hate the fact that I'm seeing you for the first time on, Zoom.
Video.
Right? But I'm sure we'll get to see each other and give each other a big hug soon enough. But as far as my final words tonight, again, thank you, Schell, for coming on. Thank you for letting us know what's going on with the meeting. Thank you for your continued fight for the industry. Again, you're going to give me a whole bunch of information that's going to be on tasteyourjuice.com in the replay post. One of the things that I type a lot in social media is Vape Happy, my friends, and I think that's something that I kind of got from Austin. He said, you should be that guy. You should be that, I forgot where it came from, like Dos Equis or some shit, I don't remember, but it was like Vape Happy, my friends. And I have been vaping happier a little bit since I have not been doing reviews, because I just enjoy vaping. I enjoy the flavor. I enjoy the experience. I enjoy not smoking, right? And I'm kind of in a little bit of a happy place when it comes to just using my products to not vape anymore. I continue and will continue to support Inikin because Inikin does support me and Dimitri. That's how we survive. So I will continue to support Inikin, but I am vaping happy, and I hope that you guys can vape happy, can continue to vape happy. But what I think is really, really important is we need to find smokers that can vape happy too, because they can. They need to find the right product. They need to find the right flavor. They need to find the right device, and they can vape happy too. But I think what's so important is that we continue to need the products and the variety and the flavors, and because that's what got us here today. That's what made us successful, right? And if it comes down to the only thing that we have available is a disposable at a C-store, I'll continue to support vaping. I'll continue to push it, but it ain't gonna be fun anymore. I'm not gonna be vaping happy, and I want to continue to vape happy. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.